right, ZestFesters, let me tell you a little bit about the man you're about to enjoy here at the Celebrity Chef stage. A premier chef of Fort Worth and Texas for over 13 years, Chef Jon Bonnell is the owner and executive chef of the Bonnell's Restaurant Group, which includes the namesake classic Bonnell's Fine Texas Cuisine, the newest highly acclaimed Waters, Bonnell's Coastal Cuisine, and the nationally recognized sports bar Buffalo Brothers Pizza, Wings, and Subs. In addition, Chef Bonnell is also the celebrity chef of TCU's Amon G. Carter Stadium for all Horned Frog football games.
There we go.
He is also the author of 3 full-color cookbooks available here at the show. His 2 fine dining restaurants are currently both ranked in the top 5 for the entire DFW Metroplex by the Zagat survey, and Buffalo Brothers was listed as one of the top 10 college sports bars in the nation.
Thank you.
Not only a chef, this guy is also the father of 2, married to an Aggie, and has been competing in distance running and triathlete competitions ranging from 5K all the way to, get this, the full distance of 140.6 miles. That's the Ironman race.
Right.
You've seen him on the Food Network. You've seen him on the CBS Morning Show, on the Today Show, and maybe in the upcoming Real Housewives of Euless. Would you please welcome to the stage Chef Jon Bonnell.
Thank you. Man, I hope that stuff's all true. All right. He mentioned that I like to run triathlons, all that kind of stuff. Today, I wanted to focus a little bit on cooking healthy. I'll be the chef in shape today. I always get the question, you know, how can we trust you? You're not supposed to be a skinny chef. I can be very well trusted because I was fat for a while, okay? Very trustworthy. I'm down 45 pounds, and I did it without buying a diet plan. I did it by eating better and exercising more. I'm sorry if that's bad news, but eating better, exercising more works every time. If somebody wants to sell you a diet plan, don't buy it. You're gonna pay the celebrity endorser. If it really worked, wouldn't they be out of business? They gotta sell you a plan that works a little bit, and then you go back and then buy the next one. Today we're gonna cook some healthy stuff, all right? We're going pretty low carb, we're going high protein. That does not mean we're short on flavor. This is gonna be some really intense, nice food. You're gonna be satisfied when you eat these kind of meals, okay? We're gonna have some fun here. We're gonna start with some salmon, and I've set up a smoker. This is smoking on purpose, all right? I'm gonna take a big old fillet of salmon. It's beautiful stuff from New Zealand. I'm gonna hit the outside with our Waters Bay blend. And I'm not using just a little bit, don't be shy. We are gonna really douse this guy, because I like a lot of flavor, especially when I'm trying to eat healthy, which is most of the time. Now, we'll let that sit on there just a second. I've set up a smoker. I kind of MacGyvered this deal here. We're using some coffee wood. You don't know who MacGyver is? Raise your hand if you know who MacGyver is. Okay, thank you. Anyone who doesn't have their hand up has got 2 thumbs going. They're trying to GTS that right now, and their language that's Google that stuff. MacGyver's a guy that can build anything. I can build a smoker out of a couple of pans here. So I turned on a couple of burners, put a flat pan in there, and I'm smoking with something cool here. It's called coffee wood. The guys over here at Primo, back there by the front, the Primo grills, coffee wood. It's got a really cool, mild flavor. That's what we're using today, these nice little chunks. Beautiful stuff, great flavor. Gonna impart some wonderful salmon. We're hot smoking. So this pan is hot. They're starting to smoke a little bit. I like a little more smoke, so we're gonna get a little blowtorch out here. Come on now. There we go. We'll get these guys really smoking. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now we got smoke going, enough that you're gonna get to smell it in a minute too. Inside that pan, a perf pan. For you kids, it's not perfect, perforated. Perforated pan. We'll put that salmon right on top. Get a lid going. We're gonna let that guy smoke while I'm making lots of other stuff here. This is a fun one. Hot smoked salmon, plenty of bay seasoning. That's our Waters Bay blend. I think of it kind of like Old Bay on steroids. I love Old Bay, but it's kind of a mild one. We start with some similar flavors, and we use all kinds of spice in it. I've got 21 different ingredients. I give away all the recipes. If you want to know exactly what's in the Bay Blend, I can show it to you. I can email it to you. It's in the cookbook. You won't find any secrets in my kitchen. If I'm using it, if I've given a recipe, if I've shown a recipe, I'm happy to just give it away, or you can buy a cookbook if you want. Got a booth over here. We'll talk about it later. So on top of that, that salmon, I'm going to do a really cool cucumber sauce. It's kind of like a tzatziki if you ever had the, you know, the gyro, the gyro lamb thing. Cool cucumber sauce. I'm going to start with a cucumber. I cut it in half. Here's how you get the seeds out. Just take a spoon, scrape them. Doesn't take much. I'm sure Williams-Sonoma's got a $350 electric cucumber de-seeder. It's probably artisan. It was made by some guys in Vermont. But I use a spoon. We're going to take a cucumber. I leave the peel on. There's a lot of fiber there, a lot of your vitamins and whatnot. Good stuff. Just going to roughly chop this. I want to leave some texture. I want to leave some pieces. I'm not trying to, you know, not trying to cut this into anything French. No brunoise, no julienne. I love French guys. They have the coolest sounding, you know, accent, but this is going to be country style. When I was in culinary school, our French chef said, anytime you say country style, I think you're just being lazy. Big hunky cuts. All right, that's fine. This is how we do it in Texas. Big pieces of cucumber, a lot of nice crunch to it. On top of that, we're going to add Greek yogurt. We're talking about a superfood, good for you. Nice stuff, great texture. By itself, it can almost be just a tiny bit on the grainy side. Not that big a deal, so I cut it with sour cream. These are real foods, not processed foods. To me, the key to being healthy is eating ingredients that you can pronounce. Real dairy, olive oil, avocado. They have fats, but they're not bad fats. They're not going to hurt you. Anything mono, unsaturated, polydiurethated, no. Stay away from all that stuff. Get off the processed foods for the most part. Sour cream, Greek yogurt, cucumber. All right, let's get some more flavor going in here. I like fresh dill, one of my favorites. You can use a little of the stem as well. I'm gonna use plenty of dill in this one. I'm gonna use a little bit of mint. Not too much. Mint's pretty powerful. Mint's pretty intense. Use a little bit here. There we go. And I've got some chives. Oh man, I love chives. I'm gonna use a ton of them. So I'll start chopping the chives. As soon as we've got enough of those, I'll keep chopping the rest of this pile. All right. The herbs today are coming from my buddy Generation Farms. We like to use as many local farm-raised products as possible. One, I just like farmers because they stand behind their product. If I buy something out of a big box store, you know, you may get your money back, but you don't know who boxed it up. You don't know who shipped it. When a farmer will come to my door, say these are the products with our name on them, that's the kind of stuff I love to celebrate. Artisan. You know, I put my name on the door. I like it when they do too. Dill, chive, lots of mint, a little bit of mint, excuse me. Let's get all those guys in the bowl here. Whew. Somebody is really using some hot chilies. This got me sniffing up here. Can you guys smell that? Woo! That's why they call it ZestFest. If you want to go to Bland Fest, that's over in South Lake right now. This is the real deal. Smoking with coffee wood. We got ghost peppers and Carolina Reapers in the air. Woo! Cures your allergies, right? Now, all that's working together. We got some beautiful flavors. I need a little bit of lemon. I'll save you some money here too, if I can find my tools. The best juicer that I've ever bought. Didn't have a motor, just a pair of tongs. Do one of these, squeeze it in there. You probably already have the pair. Not a big deal. Squeeze a little lemon in, hang on to those seeds. You got the electric juicer? I bet it's sitting in that cabinet right behind your salad shooter and your slap chop. All your favorite ones, that graveyard cabinet. that your kids have been getting you for Christmas forever? Best juicer in the house right there. All right, we're missing our seasoning. So far, we've got some really rich dairy. We've got some nice, bright, crisp green herbs, little cucumber for flavor and for texture. We've got to have salt and pepper. I think I left those down here. Plenty of salt and pepper. We've got a little acidity with lemon, but to really make this a lot more intense, a lot more flavorful, I'm going to use a chipotle powder. Chipotle powder gives it a little smoke, gives it a little bit of heat, and that's what we're talking about today, a little bit of heat. I don't want to hurt you. Some of these other guys don't mind hurting you. I'm not going to hurt you today. We got enough to make it flavorful, make it fun. I'll taste it and make sure the seasonings are all right, then we'll keep going. Oh, man. This will make any fish taste good. I love salmon because it's rich. It's got a lot of omega-3s, a lot of good, healthy fish oils. Feels like you're getting a full, heavy meal, you know? Good stuff. All right, let me check the seasonings on this. One more pinch of salt. Let's get just a little more chipotle in there. If you don't know where to find chipotle powder, I'm sure there's quite a few guys at the show that can help you out. I buy mine from Pendry's. If you guys hadn't been to Pendry's over there, they're like the master sommelier of chili powders, chili pods, chili blends. Love these guys. Any kind of seasoning you want. They sell it in bulk. They sell it in small formats. Just about anything you like. They're the ones that blend up my Waters Bay. We used the recipe and got it tweaked up. They're the ones who blend it for me. Chipotle powder is a beautiful thing. It's just packed with flavor. Really intense. Smoke and heat and that kind of red earthiness that I absolutely love. All right, that's gonna be for y'all. I'm gonna take a look at this real quick. Just a quick peek. Oh, it's getting there. Gotta be patient. It's getting there. Now, one of the other things I'm gonna show you today is shrimp, but it's not cooked in the traditional way you would think. I'm gonna poach the shrimp, but I'm not poaching it in water, I'm poaching it in olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. Poaching means you're cooking it slow and gentle. Water boils at 212 Fahrenheit at sea level, you know, there's your science nerd for the day. 212, poaching is below that. I'm gonna take this, right now I've got it at 145 degrees. So when I drop them in there, they're not gonna fry, they're not gonna boil. This is poaching, I've got it just on number 3. I've been on 2 and 3 back and forth. I'm just gonna lightly drop these shrimp in there. Gonna let them go about 15 minutes or so. They'll come right up to temp, real slow. It's a very healthy way to cook. It lends a ton of flavor because the shrimp are cooking gently. They get some of the flavor, some of the acidity and that pepperiness from the olive oil itself. And then when they come out, you give them a little dust of that Waters blend at the end, that base seasoning, and we get just a little bit more. They haven't been fried, they haven't been boiled, they haven't been dried out. And that's the main thing I'll tell you about shrimp. You're probably overcooking them. If they've ever been stringy, if they've ever been all the way around in a tight circle, if they've ever seemed tough, if they ever seemed dry, you're overcooking them. This is only 140 degrees, 140, 145. That's as high as I want to get them. I'm going to give them 12, maybe 15 minutes or so in here. I'll check the temperature once in a while. It's a gentle, easy way to get them up to perfect temperature. When they are the right temp, they are as juicy as could be, tons of flavor, absolutely love them. Now, while our proteins are cooking over here, I'm gonna put on some gloves since I've been touching all this stuff. You got it? All right, so while our proteins are cooking, I'm gonna show you a couple of great veg dishes that I'm gonna pair these with. Let's get to some vegetables. The first one, Swiss chard. You ever use Swiss chard? This is the rainbow mix. It's just beautiful stuff, extremely flavorful, really good for you. It really lends itself to a lot of flavors. And unlike some other greens, you can use the stems also. Tons of fiber, flavor, texture, and they don't take forever to cook. It's not like a collard green or a mustard green that you need a long time. I braise them for a little bit and they're fine. In this pan, we're gonna start just a touch of oil, not a lot. And that's right, bacon. I mean, you can be healthy and eat a little bacon. Don't go eating, 18 strips, have a pound and say, the chef told me I could, bacon's healthy. There's nothing wrong with bacon for flavor. We're gonna use a little bit of diced bacon in here. I'm gonna start rendering this down for just a minute. We'll get this going. Once it starts to render down, we're gonna add in a little bit of garlic also. Let me give it just a second, show you what you do with Swiss chard. When you get these things, just pull the leaves off, chop it roughly, and then chop these guys up kind of small. I know you guys have better things to do than to sit here and watch me clean greens forever, but this is what I've got. Lots of the greens already have, here we go, let's go to a camera, here we go. Lots of the stems that have already been chopped up. I like to do it kind of small so you get a little toothy, you can kind of, you get a little bit, but huge pieces can be a little tough on your dental work. I'm gonna dice those, add them in. We saute them a little bit to begin with. Little bacon, a little bit of the chard, throw in some julienne, shallot, or purple onion, either one you like. Gotta get some flavor working. Salt and pepper, because I don't know if you can cook without it. You gotta season your food. All right, once they'll start to sweat and come down a little bit, I'm gonna hit it with garlic. Again, tons of intense flavors here. Lots going on. And then while that's really heating up, I'm gonna put all that chard right on top. Now we're talking. Yeah. Right on top. Make sure we got maybe a touch more salt and pepper, it's all right. Then I like to hit this with a little bit of vinegar. I'm gonna use an apple cider vinegar. Acidity really works well with greens. These are gonna cook until they really start to wilt down, to get a little bit better texture. Right now they're a little on the rough side, so a little apple cider vinegar, splash of white wine. There we go. You like to cook with wine? Me too. I like to cook with beer. You ever cook with beer? Works great, I'm gonna show you. This was the best trick I ever learned in culinary school. How to open a beer bottle. Always cook with beer. Now we're talking. You see how these guys just start to wilt? Just turn them over once, turn them over twice, and let this kind of go. If the pan dries out on you a little bit, it's okay. If you got a lid, I don't think I do. If you got a lid, you can put it on there and we'll turn this down lower. I'm gonna add just a little splash more wine. I don't want to dry it out too much. No such thing as too much wine in cooking, right? There we go. Got it right there. Here comes MacGyver with a lid. Whoop, that'll do it. Now we got a lid. Now on this side, get a little bit of heat going over here. I'm gonna show you a good way to substitute for pasta. My kids love this. They call it the zucchini and squash noodles. Zucchini and squash. I'm gonna use this thing called a mandolin. It's really not all that complicated. It's got a blade, it's got a bunch of little fingers. I know how to chop super fine little thin ribbons, but honestly, I'm even pretty decent with a knife, but it takes a long time. This thing will save you a lot of time. Look what comes out. All you do is slide this guy down here, and look what's coming out of the bottom. Perfect zucchini noodles, huh? So I got one zucchini. You don't want to get the seeds in the middle. They all fall apart, so I keep kind of going around in circles. I like to use the peel on this too. Use almost the whole thing. A little bit of squash also. There we go. Vegetable pasta, how about that? Oh man, it's looking good over on the protein side. Now, in this pan over here, I'm gonna heat it up. Here we go. Am I on the right one? Let me get some heat up in here. All right, now we're talking. All right, I'm gonna get this hot. Start with a little bit of olive oil. Definitely get some garlic in this one too. See if we start getting some heat. I know why, I'm on the wrong burner. That one's hot, there we go. Gets me every time. Let's see if I can find the big one. Technologically challenged. This is the first year that I've started wearing glasses. Anybody just make that thing, that turn? And of course I didn't bring them with me. Let's see if I can find it. All right, we'll get this one on super. Here we go. Once we get a little heat going, we get that garlic rolling. Look at those boys. Oh man, you got color, you got texture. There's a lot to love in that pan.
Oh wow, that smells good.
Let's keep it rolling.
Oh, boy, didn't make it onto.
Okay. Now that we got some heat rolling on this one, let's give it just a second.
Any kind of sun.
Got my salt and pepper here, but honestly on this one,
Oh, it's good.
where'd I put it? There we go. My red chili. I'm gonna use a red chili powder. Again, the heat level, it's up to you. Whatever you like to use. You got a little cayenne you wanna do, that's fine. Little ancho just for flavor without heat, that'll work. I'm using one that's got a little bit of heat to it. The Sierra Nevada. Beautiful, it's in New Mexico. As soon as I get this garlic sizzling, I'm gonna put some of these noodles right on top, and then I'll show you how we plate up our dishes once we're done. Come on, physics, be on my side today, let's go. We're almost there. All right, now we're talking. Once that gets going, got it. We're gonna add our zucchini and squash right on top. How cool is that? It's like an angel hair, right? And the cool thing is you don't have to cook these long at all. This is just a couple of minutes, just a quick toss. They've already got a good texture, just a tiny bit of a crispness to them. Not much, just a tiny bit. So let's give them a little salt. If you're not seasoning, it's not gonna taste good, all right? Season everything. If I had just one tip to tell the home cook, just one, make sure you're seasoning. If you try something at the end of a recipe, you think, man, I've made this before, I know it's good, and something's wrong, see if you need a little bit of salt or maybe a little bit of acidity, a little pinch of vinegar, lemon, something. Salt and acidity are always that balance at the end that you gotta just taste and see where you are. So I'm gonna give this a little bit of that red chili powder also. Got a pretty good spice to this one, which I like. A little salt, a little black pepper. All right, now we got some heat. I'm gonna let those cook just a minute. We'll toss them around a little bit. You don't have to flip them over at home if you're not comfortable. I like to do it. Whoa! Now we're smoking. Get out of there. They had one go over the wall. He's escaping. I'm gonna let him go. That's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Now, soon as they've started to get a little soft, that's it. Don't cook it too far. If you go too far with these guys, you end up with absolutely no texture. They turn into mush. You might as well have pureed the whole thing with your big stick blender. So just a little heat, a couple of tosses. You can tell when they start to soften. I'll take those guys and put a nice big pile right in the middle of the plate, just like I would pasta. Tons of flavor, seasoned well, got a little heat to it, just for fun. Same thing goes over here. Oh man. If you don't love greens, I'm not sure we can be friends. I like greens in every possible thing, whether it's collard greens, beet greens, the tops of beets are just fantastic, mustard greens. I'm a fan. Swiss chard, one of my favorites because of how pretty it is and how easy it is. You don't have to cook them as long as others again. So let's put some of those guys right in the middle. That rainbow chard with a little touch of vinegar for acidity. We've got the stems chopped up in it too. Oh, baby. I'm gonna spend a little alone time backstage as soon as this one's done, I promise you. Woo! All right. Let's see what's happening under here. I'm gonna back up. We might set off the smoke alarm in this place. What do you think? How's that look? We do all right? I got a spatula somewhere. I did. Here, this'll work. All right. Let me take a nice big piece here of hot smoked salmon. We go right over the top Look at that bad boy. That didn't take too long, right? My cool cucumber sauce from the tasting station. I may need that one back in just a second. That's going to go on the top of there. Is this thing on? Hello? We'll keep the smoke in. Then we've got our shrimp over here. Take a clean plate. Oh, they are absolutely perfect, I'm telling you. Let me check my temperature just to make sure. The scientific device never lies to me. Exactly. That's where I want it, 140. Slotted spoon. Look at this. Is that a gorgeous color or what? Shrimp that are done to the exact degree you want. They're not all curled around in this huge circle, tightening up like they're trying to dry out on you. Nice, big, beautiful shrimp. When you're buying your shrimp now, please, I'm begging you, look for wild, especially look for Gulf, but wild first. If you saw the way they raised shrimp in third world countries, you'd never touch one again. If somebody offers you, 30 shrimp for $1, oh man, you're on your own. There's a reason. Look for wild stuff, look for domestic stuff. I promise you there's a huge difference. It's worth the money. Look at that little cool cucumber sauce right up on top. How fun is that? Don't worry, there's enough for everybody. I see y'all counting the size of the salmon and looking around at all the... We got you. We're gonna take care of you today. And then right over here, we got our shrimp. Oh man, I am gonna tear this one up. I'm gonna arrange these around a little bit, make them all come up to the top, try to make it look pretty. Doesn't take much when you start with product like this. It's already good looking, just don't mess it up, right? Start with some good stuff. The last thing I'll do on that one, I always drain it on a plate or a paper towel so the extra oil comes off. It adds a great flavor, but you don't want to be just soaked in oil, It'll slide right off. Last thing I'll do is just give them a little dust of that Waters Bay. Not a ton, just a little bit. They're ready to soak up some flavor. We got just a little bit there for them. So there we go. We got 2 dishes with not almost a single carb in the whole thing. Zucchini and squash pasta with hot smoked salmon over coffee wood and a cool cucumber sauce with smoky chipotle. I've got some braised rainbow chard with a touch of bacon and some olive oil poached shrimp. If you guys are having fun at the show, which I hope you are, come see me at the booth back here. I've got some different spice blends I'd love to show you and taste you on. And I've got some cookbooks I'm more than happy to sign. Again, I keep no secrets. If you just want a recipe, email me. I'll send you any recipe you ever want for free. If you want a cookbook, I'm happy to sell you one at the same time. I hope y'all are having a good show.
Thank you, Chef Jon Bonnell. He's incredible. We'll have sampling over at our sampling station.
Cheers.
Thanks to our friends at Irving Cares. Please, if you feel so inclined, make a donation to our friend at Irving Cares. 100% of their proceeds stay right here in Irving. Irving Cares is a hand up, not a handout. That's fine.
I used to put my faith in worship, but then